How's it going, everybody? Sebastian here, bringing you two items from my Disney collection. Now, these items have to do with the 60th anniversary of Disneyland, which of course just passed for those of you who've been either paying attention or if you're a fan of Disney or Disneyland. I thought these items would be very, very cool to show off to you. They do not cost you an arm and a leg if you're going to try and track these down, and I think they make a great addition to any Disney fan's collection. On my left, I've got the December 1954 issue of Popular Mechanics magazine, which is of course several months before the opening of the Disneyland park in Anaheim in 1955. And the headline article is 12 New Cars for 1955 with the beautiful Plymouth V8 illustration in the bottom left. And on my right is an item you may have seen in Brad Bird's Tomorrowland. This is an original New York World's Fair child's entry ticket for the 1964-1965 World's Fair. And of course the lucite or acrylic card holder was not very expensive to keep it in. So let's get to it, and I want to show these off to you because I think they're very, very cool, and hopefully you do too. With the passing of the 60th anniversary of Disneyland Park just a few days ago for me, I want to show off these items to you, so let's get started with the first item, my December 1954 copy of Popular Mechanics magazine. This is just 7 months before the opening of the park. And the main article in here is model trains, O-scale trains, very, very fun. But buried on page 118 and 119 is a quick full-page spread article about Walt Disney's $9 million recreational park. What is very, very cool is you get to see some concept sketches of the park, including Herb Ryman's original concept sketch that they used to sell to banks and, of course, ABC. Also, Tomorrowland and Frontierland here. Also, photographs of the Sleeping Beauty Castle model and the Mark Twain riverboat down here. And what you may notice, especially on Herb Ryman's sketch, is a few lands that don't actually exist and never came to fruition in the park. We have the Mickey Mouse Club here. We also have Holiday Land and Little Lilliputian Land up in the top right there, which is, of course, the small human beings from the Gulliver's Travels novels. Also, you get to sort of see some of the original names of the park: The World of Tomorrow, True Life Adventure, and Frontier Country, which Frontierland, Adventureland, and Tomorrowland, Fantasyland kept its name. So this is a very, very fascinating article. It's only a couple paragraphs long, but imagine picking this up in 1954 and finding out that Walt Disney's got this crazy idea for a massive park that uses storytelling as its main feature. It talks about the 10,000 car parking lot. It's 160 acres large, and of course, $9 million was the cost of the park back in 1954, 1955. Very, very cool stuff. The next item I'm going to show you guys is my child's admission ticket to the 1964-1965 World's Fair. The entry price was just $1 if you were a child. Now, we have this beautiful orange and blue art. We've got the Unisphere on the front and a nice patterned Unisphere here on the back. Now, the 1964-1965 World's Fair is a very notable year for Disney fans. That is, it was the premiere of many, many rides. You may also have seen the ticket, or at least a prop replica of this ticket, and of course the World's Fair in the film Tomorrowland by Brad Bird. George Clooney's character as a child goes to the World's Fair to show off his jetpack and is then granted entry into the alternate reality of Tomorrowland. Also in Men in Black, the Unisphere featured in the finale of the film, fighting the Edgar Bug, and Iron Man 2, the idea of the World's Fair or the Stark Expo came directly from this, and Howard Stark in the film is based heavily on Walt Disney. Now, what makes the World's Fair, in particular, very, very special, the 1964-1965 World's Fair, is the introduction of 4 Disney attractions, 4 very notable attractions. Now, we have the Ford Magic Skyway, the Carousel of Progress, Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, and of course, Small World. Now, the first two, Carousel of Progress and the Ford Magic Skyway, you may not know what those are. The Carousel of Progress left the Disney parks quite some time ago, but it is still in the Walt Disney World park. And the Ford Magic Skyway eventually became many, many different rides in the Disney parks. It became the People Mover and Spaceship Earth, most notably, but it also has some remnants in the park when you go on the train around the Disneyland park and you get to the diorama of the dinosaurs in the primeval world. That was one of the features of the Ford Magic Skyway, and that model is still in Disneyland today. And great moments with Mr. Lincoln. Of course, the animatronic still gets updated routinely, but that show originally premiered at the 1964-1965 World's Fair, and Small World, designed by Herb Ryman, and Mary Blair did a lot of the interior art that the animatronic figures were based on. Thank you very, very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed taking a look at some of these items. Now, like I said earlier, these items do not cost you an arm and a leg. The Popular Mechanics magazine you can find on eBay anywhere from $8 to $20, depending on the condition. My copy has some foxing around the edges. The cover is not entirely perfect, but it's a gorgeous book, and I'm happy to have it. And the World's Fair ticket, there is one website, I believe it's Imagineering Disney. He's a graphic designer who was able to get a couple of these, and I would be more than happy to throw the link down in the description. And he is selling these tickets. The acrylic case I picked up at a baseball card shop for about $10, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding that. Thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at these items, and if you're into Disneyana, hey, I hope you're able to get some cool items too, and leave a comment in the description. What's your favorite Disneyland ride, Disney World ride? Hey, there's a lot of parks. We've got Shanghai Disney, we've got Euro Disney, Hong Kong. So let me know in the comments below what your favorite ride is, and hey, if you've got a piece of Disney memorabilia that's special to you, let me know as well. I'd love to hear it. Thank you very, very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.